Okay, I wanted to discuss one more thing. What if you want to use a cookie to save the culture or eventually use the URL? How actually you explicitly change the culture? You don't get it from the browser. So how you can do it is in your home controller, for example, you can create another action which is change culture, and we'll discuss this right now. So here we go. I'll copy and paste this code and we'll review it. I'll flip to Visual Studio. So action result set culture string culture. So the culture is coming as an argument. Culture here is a formal parameter. So let's say we sent a form with post or get method, and there is a culture parameter. I don't want to speculate, so with get is gonna work. Culture helper get implemented culture just to make sure that this is one of the cultures which we are expecting here in the helper. And after that we set a cookie if we like. So if the cookie exists, update cookie value. If the cookie doesn't exist, we set the cookie. We use the order request the same way as we can use the response. By the way, to get the culture, the value of the culture, we also can use request. And after that, after the cookie is set, we redirect to action index and the magic will happen. As we know, in the base controller we do the magic. Actually we check for the culture cookie, and if it's set, then we set the culture to the value of the cookie. If not, we take the culture from the header. That's it. Only how the culture cookie can be set, for example. We of course can use another approach, which is using the URL to set the culture. This is how this could be done. The method actually it's even simpler. So let me uncomment here so we'll see it and discuss. Set culture. Of course it's Visual Studio right now is complaining because there is another method with the same signature here in the same class. Let's not pay attention on that right now. So the culture helper get implemented culture. So in other words, we have sent to set culture somehow the culture we want to explicitly set. Root data values. How can we do this? With a form or with a flag. Flags which we usually use. I mean country or language flags which can reside here. So with a pull down you change it. With JavaScript you can do it. You set the local property of the window object and redirect to this action, and at the same time you're sending the argument culture, the value of the culture. So after the culture is set, actually is sent, we explicitly change the culture, root data value culture, and I mentioned that you have to change the root config. And let me show you what you have to do here before the controller. Of course you have to put here the culture, and that's it. After that, in this line you have to set the default value of the culture, and we are all set and ready to go. Let me actually show this. Okay, let me go here in this project, application start. Let me copy the root config and show it to you. so I'm not just talking like that. Okay, default URL controller action ID, but we have to change it to culture. This is what we have to do. We change this line to this one, the URL culture controller action ID, and the defaults looks a little bit different now. Defaults culture helper with control dot. We bring the suggestion. We add here the routing, not the routing but the helper, and that's it. Get default culture, and we are ready to go like that. So this is how the route actually should look like when you're gonna use the URL to change the culture, explicitly to change the culture. Set culture, and this is how you do it. This is how the method in the home controller or another controller should look like. You send the culture which you want to set explicitly the application to with a post or get. Somehow you send this parameter, and after that the root value changes to culture, and that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna comment this. With that said, I think we can conclude that it's not that difficult actually to change the culture to make your application international. Globalization, localization, translation is not such a big deal. It's easy to be done. Okay, thank you.